Okay, today I have got something very, very special. This is the Weller CYPB Craft Your Perfect Bourbon. So the short version of it is they did a lot of surveying and different tastings and essentially came up with this consensus of all these data points of what consistently got the highest rating, what consistently tasted the best. So for those of you familiar, obviously Weller is Sazerac or Buffalo Trace's weeded mash bill, and they make several different varieties of it. This is, to me, the rarest one, generally speaking, other than the Weller from the antique collection, and that's barrel proof. So the details on this is it's highest floor, so where it gets the hottest. It's the weeded mash bill, obviously. It's 8 years old, and it's bottled at 95 proof. So it has a lot of different things going on there. The weeded mash bill at 8 years old, I 100% agree with. I mean, that is a sweet spot. You get anything weeded, which is a little softer, above 10, 11, 12 years, and I would say you're really pushing. The only ones I've ever tasted that I thought as a weeded mash bill were extremely good into their older age were the old Fitzgeralds. So just something to note there. But Weller at this age and this proof is just absolutely fantastic. And the fact that it came from those hothouse top floors, again, it's going to get a lot of extraction, a lot of aggressive in and out of the wood. And, you know, this is a phenomenal bottle of bourbon. And it matches the hype. It doesn't even need to be hyped. So here's what I'll say before we dig into the actual review. You know, you can taste dusties and older bourbons that are transcendently delicious. They will taste like nothing else, but it's mainly a butterscotch flavor. So it's a very deep, rich, syrupy butterscotch flavor that you can get from some phenomenal older bourbons. This is not that. This is a look at the future of what an absolutely top-notch, delicious, new style bourbon can taste like, meaning the quality control, the temperature, the fermentation times, the quality of the wood program that they put into it, the care and quality of the warehouse and the aging, all of that working together to create something that isn't a butterscotch bomb. This is fruit driven. This is floral driven. This is extremely light in the sense of there's nothing that is angular on the palate whatsoever. It is just so damn sippable, but there's so much complexity. There's so much flavor going on in this particular bottle. So that's what I want to dig into. Just the nose, just right there, you can tell how good it is. So very fruit, very floral driven. There's sort of a tropical aroma coming out. This reminds me a little bit of like a Jamaican pot still rum, but not overly so. It's got some of that candy bourbon flavor to it. You know, when you get an aging barrel and you kind of pick a little bit of that kind of molasses looking ooze on the side of the barrel and you can smell it. I mean, it has that aroma, it has that sort of, it has that burnt sugar and molasses. Yeah, tropical fruit, there's cashew, so there's a nuttiness, there's a light kind of leathery oak, but it keeps kind of circling back to that really beautiful, highly perfumed, lifted fruit and floral aroma. 95 proof is very interesting because you don't see that very often. You see kind of 90 to 94, and then it tends to go 100, 101, 107, and then right up into barrel proof. So this is a range that you don't typically see, just a tick above that 94 proof. Good gravy. All right. Yeah, complex. Light, but extremely complex. All right, let's take a sip. Exceptional fruit on the mid palate. Oranges, bananas. There's a little touch of that cashew note. The wood is not interfering at all. That oak spice is perfectly integrated into that fruit flavor. There's a little bit more of that like tangerine orange flavor coming out. A little bit more of that candy flavor. There's a hint of butterscotch. There's a hint of toffee. There's a hint of caramel, but it's not the driver. The driver is this extremely subtle fruit and floral note, both on the nose and on the palate. It's so good. There's a biscuity quality to the finish. You take it, you hold it on your palate, you get a little air in there, and there's a biscuity flavor that comes out as well. And I think that's a lot to do with this proof. It is a fantastic proof. You get the oak spice, you get a touch of that leather. That's from those 8 years. I can't say enough about this bourbon. You know, if I've got the pick, I usually always say Weller 107. I don't know. I think this is the one that would rival the 107. I like the 107. Obviously, it's a little bit more gettable. This is extremely rare. We're only putting 3 bottles up in the October Right to Buy raffle on bourbonworld.net. So please, please, please go check it out, because this is one, if your name gets drawn for it, you have to say yes to this bottle. It is so unbelievably good. There's nothing else to say about it. It lives up to the hype, and it's just a pleasure to sip it. So anyway, I'm going to do this one off camera. Cheers.